Okay, now that we know what regex is, and we already built a rule that will allow us to match the MAC address from the result of ifconfig, let's see how we can implement this in Python and filter our variable right now, because our variable here, ifconfig result, give us the full result of ifconfig. So in this lecture, we're going to see how we can use this rule right here in order to filter this variable and filter all of this input and only come up with the MAC address. Now to do this in Python, we can use a module called re, just RE, which stands for regular expression, and you can use the same rules that I just showed you exactly. So let's go ahead and start implementing this straight away. First of all, we need to import the module the same way that we imported subprocess and opt_part. So we just need to do import re, and that's it, we're done with that. Next is we have to use this module to achieve our goal or do whatever that we want to do. Now in order to do this, we're gonna do re, which is the name of the module, and if we press a dot, we'll see all the methods that we can use or all the functions that we can use with this module. And what we want to do is we want to search, and we want to give it a regex rule. Now in order to give a Python program a regex rule, you have to first type R and then use quotation marks and put the rule as a normal string. So you first type an R, just like I did here, and then put two quotations and input your rule like a string. Now we've already built our rule, which is this one. So I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to go to my text editor and paste it here. So that's my rule for this. Then we need to give the re module the variable that I want to search for this pattern in. Now the variable that contains the text that we want to search in is the ifconfig result, which is what's being printed here. So I'm just going to type ifconfig result, and that's it. Now this will search the result or whatever that's stored in ifconfig result for this pattern. And because we tested this pattern, we know that this will return my MAC address. Now, theoretically, this should return our MAC address, but we're not capturing that anywhere. So we need to capture the result that re.search returns. Now, re.search will not return a single string. It will actually return a match object, which contains all the strings that it found in groups. So what we're going to store this in, we're going to store it in something that's meaningful. So we're going to call our variable MAC address search result equals to. So the MAC address search result is equals to the search. And then if we want to print the result, we're going to say print MAC address search result dot group 0. Because usually if there is more than one match in the string, these will be placed into a number of groups and you can iterate through them by saying 0, 1, 2, 3. Now we're interested in the first occurrence, and usually there'll only be one anyway, so we only want to print the first group or the first result. Now let's go ahead and run our program. And perfect, this is the first print statement that prints the result of ifconfig result. And this is the second print statement, which is printing our search result. And we're able to only print the MAC address in here, which is exactly what we want to achieve. Now, there is only one check that I'd like to add to our code. Now, if this result failed to search, for example, let's go back and run our code. And instead of eth0, I'm gonna put LO. Now this is a virtual interface created by Linux. It doesn't have a MAC address, so if we run it like this, you'll see we'll get an error in here. And as you know, I don't like errors like this. It's useful for us as programmers, but they're not useful to users. So we're getting this error because LO doesn't have a MAC address, and when we are searching with this line, the search result is not returning anything because there is no MAC address. It's not able to match this in the result of ifconfig. because if we do ifconfig lo, you'll see there is no MAC address in here. So in order to solve this, we can just check if the search gave us any values. So this is the search object, which is MAC address search result. And all we have to do is just use a simple if statement. We're gonna say if MAC address search result. So if you actually got me a result, I want you to print, I'm just gonna tap the print. I want you to print the MAC address for me. And then we're gonna use else. So if you could not find the MAC address, then tell the user could not read MAC address. Okay, so all we're doing is we're checking if this variable actually got the MAC address value. If it did, then we're gonna print it. Otherwise, we're gonna say, sorry, I couldn't read the MAC address. Let's go and test this out. So I'm just gonna clear the screen, run our program with LO. As you can see, it's saying, sorry, could not get MAC address. Let's run it with ETH0, and we get our MAC address. Perfect. Now that's our second step done, and now we're able to achieve the main goal of our algorithm, which is be able to execute ifconfig and read the MAC address. The next steps are actually easy because all we have to do is check if this is the MAC address that the target person is looking for, and then print an appropriate message.